All right, how's it going? Hope things are well with you. Hello to the VC, the vinyl community. Here it's another kind of rainy day, cloudy rainy day, definitely getting into that September fall weather. Great for staying indoors and listening to music, I tell you. First off, I want to thank all those who have taken the time to either like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I really appreciate it, especially I'm fairly new to this making videos, and I do appreciate some of the comments, and certainly the people checking out the videos, and I do appreciate that very much. I also want to say a big shout out to Tales from the Crate. Great to hear from you, and if you have not checked out his channel, his YouTube channel, you owe it to yourself, especially if you love music, love vinyl. He has an extensive record collection, and his knowledge of music is incredible. So check out his YouTube channel. Great to hear from you. Tales from the Crate. So do check that out. Okay, for this edition, I've got a fairly obscure one, a Canadian band. They put out this album in 1974 on the Columbia label. This is a reissue on an American label called Lions Production. The band we're talking about is Ptarmigan. All right, great cover there. So yeah, from Vancouver, British Columbia, came out in 1974. And if you like psychedelic folk or progressive folk, then I would seek out this album if you don't have it in your collection. I saved the hype sticker that I think kind of sums it up beautifully. Hypnotic, mystical, hippie psychedelia dominated by long and largely instrumental tracks, all based on a complex interplay of recorder, hand drums, and acoustic guitar. So there you have it. So this album, interesting, was produced by Paul Horn. Paul Horn was an American jazz musician, and Paul Horn was noted for his album Inside the Taj Mahal. So he produced this. It doesn't have a jazz feel. It really has that kind of folky, progressive, almost psychedelic folk feel. Tracks like Go Dancing, The Island, and Vancouver. And then on side 2, you got Night of the Gulls. The track's in at over 11 minutes. So let's, there you go. So let's take a look inside. The band members, Glenn Diaz on lead vocals, alto, tenor, and bass recorder, and incidental percussion. Monty Nordstrom on vocals. Those are the two main members of the group. Also, Kat Hendricks on drums, David Field on acoustic bass, and Richard Mayer on electric bass. And Glenn Diaz did the cover. And I do love the cover. Okay, let's take a look inside. Let's take a look at the vinyl. And this reissue is reportedly limited to 500 copies, although they aren't numbered. And I like this. Nice reproduction there. Then it comes with a very nice booklet, or at least an insert, I should say, inside. It talks about the history of the band. There you have the two main members. There's Glenn Diaz there and Monty Nordstrom there. Nice vintage photos. Nice full write-up on the band, which is always nice to see. There you have it. And it kind of talks about where the band members have ended up. So there you have the album, the reissue, Ptarmigan. And yeah, it's definitely well worth picking up if you like folk progressive. Now, I did pick up the CD because I always like to shop and compare that sort of thing. So here's the CD version. A nice reproduction on the cover there. And then they did do a reproduction of the back of the album cover there. CD there. And then inside they've got a nice reproduction there. And happy to see that the booklet that's included gives you all the information from the insert and then some. I think it's a bit, it may be a bit longer write-up, but it does have extra photos of the group. So I was happy to see that the booklet holds up well. And as you can see, actually, a few extra photos. And there's one. There's an advertisement for Paul Horn there. And then also inside, they've got pictures of when they reunited in 1978. And looks like another reproduction poster of a performance. So very cool. And that's kind of a nice, can't do this because it wasn't gatefold, but there you have it. Okay, so there's the CD version. So yeah, check that out if you can. Well worth picking up. And of course, with many bands, this was their only album as far as I know. Then the band members, of course, as you do, go your separate ways. Glenn Diaz relocated to Ontario. This band was from Vancouver, British Columbia, so he moved to Ontario and continued his music career, also did some acting as well. Glenn Diaz released a solo album. This one came out in 1998. This is Glenn Diaz with the Polarity Bears. There you go. Glenn Diaz with the Polarity Bears and Tip of the Iceberg. And on this one, he's done the song Go Dancing, which was the first track featured on the Ptarmigan album. So he's done a sort of a redone version of Go Dancing. Then he also covers Leonard Cohen songs like Dance Me to the End of Love and also Anthem. Covers the Beatles' Rain on this one, and then does standards like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Glenn Diaz, and Tip of the Iceberg. So this one came out in 1998. Then, relocating to Stratford, Ontario, I've gotten to know Glenn Diaz over the years, a great performer, singer, songwriter. They then formed a band, a Celtic fusion band called Rant Maggie Rant, and this is their first CD that came out, and this one came out in 2009. And on the back they say traditional and contemporary Celtic music seasoned with world music influences. And the band members of this time included Glenn Diaz along with Mark Fletcher, Keith Ford, Rob LaRose, and Lindsay Schidler. And Lindsay is an absolutely terrific violinist, terrific fiddle player, and great singer too. So Rant Maggie Rant, that is their debut CD. They then released a few more albums. They released a live set at Hughes Room. Hughes Room is a bar performance area in Toronto. And Hughes Room was in danger of closing, actually, not too long ago, but they managed to be able to keep it open. So this is a live set recorded at Hughes Room. And I tell you, this is a great CD. If you're picking up one Rant Maggie Rant CD, you could pick up this one because the energy on this is incredible. Again, continuing with their heavy Celtic influences, their kind of Celtic fusion thing. They even slip in Brown Eyed Girl as part of a medley. They're doing a lot of, reels on this one, but great energy, great performances on this one. And joining them at this time was Barry James Payne, who continues to be with the band. So there, I guess, it doesn't have an official title, but I think it just refers to it as the Green Album. There you go. Recorded St. Patrick's Day, and this came out in 2013. They also released a Christmas album, and they continued to do Christmas concerts over the years, and this is their latest CD release, Rant Maggie Rant, Latitudes. And see the inside there. You got all the band members there. That's Glenn Diaz there, Barry there, and Lindsay there. And so yeah, Latitude, again continuing on with their Celtic fusion theme. They do instrumentals. They're starting to get into a bit more harmonies now, but still singing about things like southwestern Ontario town. Also some nice kind of country influences on this one with the Ballad of Old Jack McGaw. So Rant Maggie Rant, Latitude. And recently the band has celebrated their 10th anniversary with performances. And mentioning about Lindsay, she is also in a band called Trent Severin, and they're three gals who are absolutely terrific, hugely popular, kind of very country folk, that sort of thing. And their latest album, Trent Severin, Portage. And again, very energetic, sort of country folk influences, and singing all about Canada, that's for sure. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for this edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you do like what you see, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment or two, and I'll just show that album one more time. If you can, pick this up, Ptarmigan. This is a great album from 1974. recently reissued. All right, thanks so much, and have a good one. We'll talk again. Bye-bye.